Good evening, everyone. Take one more sip of your cocktail, and then try to pay a little bit of attention. It's wonderful to be here tonight. What a year it has been. When 2,000 of us gathered together in person last year, who among us could have ever imagined what we have experienced these past 12 months? Millions infected with a deadly virus that has killed nearly 500,000. Millions more of Americans out of work, out on the street, while children struggle for some sense of normalcy as they spend hours a day behind screens in Zoom school. And most of us have been forced to figure out how to work 80 hours a week from the laundry room or the living room rather than the conference room. Yes, our lives have been turned upside down by COVID. And yet we know that we are the lucky ones. We know that the already vulnerable clients who Beit Tzedek has served each and every day for 47 years have been disproportionately affected by this pandemic, which means that Beit Tzedek has never mattered more because they have committed to working tirelessly throughout this year to find new and innovative ways to serve clients and work for justice for those who need it now more than ever. So it is an honor to be here tonight as a partner in the amazing work that Beit Tzedek does. After the year we've had, it means so much to be together. Now I know we're not together at the Marriott, networking, sipping cocktails, waiting to head into the dining room, but we are together nonetheless. If this pandemic has come to teach us one lesson, it's how much we really do need each other. And what a blessing it really is to be together. We have a blessing to celebrate that, the Shehechianu. It thanks God for sustaining us, and in moments just like this, enabling us to be together. So please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, God, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this very moment. Amen.
Welcome to the 2021 Beit Tzedek Virtual Gala. And now, please welcome our host for the evening, actor, activist, and friend of Beit Tzedek, Adam Rodriguez.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Adam Rodriguez, and I am a big fan of Beit Tzedek's work, so I'm thrilled to be your MC for Beit Tzedek's first and hopefully only virtual gala as we gather together separately to celebrate the entire Beit Tzedek community. 2020 was a year like no other, and yet in spite of COVID, or actually because of COVID, Beit Tzedek's work has never been more important. A year into this public health crisis, Beit Tzedek's client communities continue to inspire with their determination to fight for their rights. The staff and pro bono volunteers continue to amaze with the endless hours they sacrifice to bring justice to those communities. And the steadfast support of the donor families fills all of us with gratitude. Tonight, we're celebrating all of you. We have so many inspirational stories about the Betzedek community to share tonight, so pour yourself a drink and get comfortable. There's no better person to start with than our president and CEO, so it's my great pleasure to introduce Diego Cartagena.
Good evening and welcome. I am Diego Cartagena, and I have the honor of serving as president and CEO of Betzedek. For years, many of you have joined us under one roof to break bread, to celebrate Betzedek, and to honor the incredible individuals, firms, and organizations that make our work possible. Tonight is going to be a little different, as you have allowed us into each of your homes across the region. To my mind, this virtual gathering is a perfect celebration of Betzedek, the House of Justice, because for years now, the work of the House of Justice has not happened under just one roof. Since our founding over 46 years ago, we have built connections with community partners that have allowed our attorneys and advocates to serve clients at over 25 senior centers throughout LA County, 44 courthouses, 51 cities across Southern California and the US, and nearly 200 schools, libraries, medical facilities, worker centers, churches, and synagogues. Of course, over the course of 2020, COVID forced us to reimagine ourselves in so many ways, including how to maintain these connections. Throughout the year, we heard over and over the need to practice social distancing, to isolate, to stay at home. This left many of us feeling alone, frustrated, and powerless. But perhaps none more so than our clients who, in the midst of the pandemic and already living under the crushing weight of structural inequalities, had to face legal hurdle after hurdle, from wrongful denials of unemployment insurance to evictions that threatened their ability to safely shelter in place. Betzedek was determined to ensure that our clients did not have to face these struggles alone. We rose to that challenge. Over the course of one weekend, all of Betzedek's services, from our intake call center to our self-help clinics, went virtual without a single day of interrupted services. And in the end, our clients did not have to go it alone. We were able to continue connecting and standing with our clients. In fact, by the end of 2020, we had connected with over 100,000 individuals and families, twice the number of individuals we connected with in 2019. Of course, Betzedek didn't have to go it alone either. Last year, when we were all under one roof in the Marriott's beautiful ballroom, I asked you all to stand with us. You did so that night, and without hesitation, you continued to do so throughout the roller coaster of 2020. For each client we helped last year, there were volunteers, not just here in Los Angeles, but across the country, who helped protect the rights of our clients by representing them in court proceedings and providing Know Your Rights presentations. For every client, there were donors who made the work possible, foundations that allowed us to pivot to meet the ever-changing community need. And of course, for every client, there was an incredible team of Betzedek staff members, from attorneys and advocates to paralegals and secretaries, volunteer coordinators and grant writers and finance team members, working in unison to ensure we remain connected to the communities and clients we serve. So this year, we are not honoring one individual or recognizing one funder or volunteer. Instead, this year, we are celebrating all of our clients, the communities we serve, and their resiliency in the face of this tumultuous public health crisis. All of our philanthropic partners and their incredible generosity who continue to be at our side in these efforts. And all of our steadfast pro bono attorneys, volunteers, and staff members who put in the hard work every day, even when it feels heartbreaking. We are so excited to have you here with us tonight, joining in this celebration of our entire extraordinary Betzedek family.
Estoy con la compañía de transferencia de dinero por 17 años, he estado con ellos y en abril del 2020, a causa del coronavirus, fuimos descansados y me fui a mi casa. Durante el tiempo que estuve, apliqué al desempleo, pero no tuve ninguna respuesta de parte de ellos. Que en ese momento yo tenía acumulado muchas deudas de renta, en noviembre del año pasado había sacado un carrito de un dealer y estaban por quitarme el carro y ya no encontraba ninguna salida. En el radio escuché sobre su organización que le ayudaban por asuntos laborales. BetSedec, ellos me pidieron toda la información que yo había enviado al desempleo y así ellos pudieron comunicarse con ellos. Pues yo ya no esperaba de que el desempleo me pagara, pero en diciembre que me dieron, SEDEC me dio la buena noticia, pues me dijeron de que sí me iban a pagar todo lo que no me habían pagado en los 3 meses que estuve desempleada. Mi vida cambió mucho cuando comencé a recibir los ingresos del desempleo, porque en ese momento yo tenía acumulado muchas deudas. Yo estoy muy agradecida con BetSedec de que comenzaron a ayudarme. En diciembre fue ya lo último que ellos hicieron conmigo, que fue hasta conseguir de que el desempleo me pagara todo lo que me debía.
After Exenia spent months trying to navigate the state's broken unemployment insurance system, BetZedek's employment rights team helped her secure the full amount of benefits she was owed. So finally, Exenia can live with some financial stability and peace of mind. Meanwhile, BetZedek successfully advocated for hundreds of thousands of undocumented Californians who were intentionally excluded from any federal stimulus relief to now have access to California relief funds. First, the Disaster Relief Assistance for Immigrants, and now California's Golden Gate Stimulus.
Now is the time of the night where we ask you to give more. And I will tell you, every year, this is the time I put my credit card in and give more, because you've just heard about the amazing impact that BetZedek has in our community. There's no greater time, I believe, in my lifetime where this giving today is so important. So pull out your phone, text where you need to text, and give more to BetZedek.
Thank you, Wendy, for kicking off BetZedek's always successful Gala Text to Give campaign. And you can make a difference in the lives of clients like Exenia by doing what you do all the time anyway, sending a text. Our Text to Give goal tonight is $100,000, and hitting that goal will fund BetZedek's Elder Abuse Clinic for an entire year. So just grab your phone and text Justice21 to 41444. Okay, the BetZedek board has already gotten us started with a $30,000 challenge gift. And get your notepads ready. If we raise another $40,000 tonight, they will double their gift with another $30,000, bringing us to the $100,000 target. This isn't complicated math or technology. Just text the word Justice21 to 41444. Let's get that thermometer up. Your gift is going to get us that much closer to our goal for the evening. Thank you to everyone who started texting. We'll stay tuned throughout the evening for updates on our progress. Never in our 47-year history has BetZedek charged a client for our services. And that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for our generous donors. Take a look at the names on your screen right now. Tonight's event sponsors are part of the community that's been powering the vital work that BetZedek has been doing for nearly half a century. They are the ones who are helping make BetZedek a public-private model that shows what's possible to the rest of the country. And they have our undying gratitude.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for making the time to participate in this important event. Of course, I wish we could all be together, but hopefully by this time next year, this event will bring people together in person again. Tonight, it's my honor to celebrate the work of an organization that means so much to me. I was a young lawyer in the early 90s when my law firm first introduced me to BetZedek. and the vitally important work this organization does to provide access to justice for those most in need. I learned about Betzedic's mission to keep families in their homes, to secure benefits for seniors and children, and to build bridges across the community. I wanted to help out. I wanted to make a difference. So I began to volunteer like so many others. The work I did with Betzedic was really transformational for me. Fighting wrongful eviction cases with the Betzedic team underscored not only the power of justice, but also the profound impact of representation. For so many people, representation is literally the difference between keeping a roof over their family or being unlawfully pushed into the streets. The stories of the people we represented, you've all represented, I know they've stayed with me and made me a lifelong advocate for access to justice. And those stories will continue to inspire the work I do in the future. Over the past 25 years or so, supporting this organization based in my beloved hometown of Los Angeles has been such an important part of my life. From helping to organize the Justice Ball in the early days to continuing to shine a light on the advocacy efforts of this great organization, I've been so proud to be a part of Betzedic and watch its impact grow and grow over the years. It's truly remarkable to think about the thousands of families whose lives have changed over the past 46 years because of Betzedic. But we all know families in our communities continue to face huge challenges and burdens. Challenges that grew even bigger over the past year in light of the unprecedented pandemic. I am proud that you have chosen to celebrate these families and their resilience in the face of such huge challenges. And I am so grateful for the incredible work of the tireless Betzedic staff and the work of the pro bono attorneys and volunteers who have helped families navigate one of the most difficult years in our country's history. So, today, I'm here to say thank you. And I'm here to celebrate all that you've achieved. And I'm here to say, let's keep fighting. Let's keep fighting together for a legal system that is just, fair, and accessible to all. It's been an honor to join you this evening. And I look forward to continuing to celebrate the impact that Betzedic will make in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Emhoff. Your commitment to access to justice and pro bono service is an inspiration to all of us tonight. You know, COVID may have forced Betzedic staff to work outside the office, but the truth is that the organization has always been deeply enmeshed throughout Los Angeles anyway. In fact, it would be hard to imagine Los Angeles without Betzedic. Take a look and you'll see what I mean.
It began in 1974 when our founders each chipped in their time and $5 a month to rent an office on Fairfax Boulevard. Nearly 47 years later, Betzedic has evolved into one of the premier providers of comprehensive free legal aid in LA County. But more than that, from that small storefront, Betzedic has woven its way into the fabric of this city. We are Los Angeles. Working hand in hand with the most important frontline community organizations throughout Southern California, from workers' centers to synagogues, hospitals to food banks, Betzedic partners with sibling organizations to bring critically needed legal assistance to the patients, congregants, students, clients, and families we serve. Our attorneys represent clients in courthouses from Santa Monica to Antelope Valley. Whether our Preventing Homelessness team is working with city offices to provide tenant protection to their residents, or our policy experts are collaborating with elected officials to bring systemic change to the issues that affect our communities, we bring the voices and concerns of our clients to the doorsteps of power. As COVID pushed our staff to work remotely, Betzedic's light was refracted through 100 homes and apartments across the Southland, where they tirelessly meet our clients' needs from their laptops, their kitchen tables, and their kids' bedrooms. And the reach of our staff is amplified tenfold by the hundreds of pro bono volunteers at law firms, entertainment and tech companies, and businesses across the region, by students from top universities, and our many community volunteers. Of course, helping our clients is also made possible by the generosity of BetZedek's philanthropic family, from established institutional funders to one-time tribute donors who underwrite our work. And BetZedek's influence extends beyond Southern California, working with elected officials in Sacramento to bring justice to all Californians, extending our expertise working with survivors across the country through our Holocaust Survivors Justice Network, or collaborations with other partners and volunteers that span across the United States. BetZedek is here, and we will continue to be here for as long as our services are needed.
Hi, I'm Hilda El Solis, Chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, and I'm honored to join BetZedek during their 2021 virtual gala. BetZedek has been a trusted county partner, and thanks to their staff and volunteers and supporters, they've been able to provide critical services and aid for our communities for nearly half a century, especially throughout the COVID pandemic. The Los Angeles County, as you know, is home to more than 3.5 million immigrants. And thanks to organizations like BetZedek, our immigrant communities know that LA County is a safe haven and that we will continue to protect, defend, and fight for their rights. That's why I'm proud that we have supported BetZedek's work under the LA Justice Fund, a multi-million-dollar fund that provides free legal aid for immigrants facing deportation. I was so glad we could count on BetZedek to work with the county and help our young immigrants under the age of 21 who have been abused, neglected, or abandoned apply for special immigrant juvenile status so that they may remain in the United States. On top of that important work, BetZedek also helps people fight unlawful evictions, elder abuse, wage fraud, and many other injustices our residents face. Thank you so much, BetZedek, for many years of supporting our resilient communities.
Thank you, Supervisor Solis. Our community depends on visionary leaders like you who understand the power of partnerships. And the partnership between BetZedek and the county is moving our society closer to those more perfect ideals we strive for. BetZedek has always relied on the generosity of pro bono and community volunteers to amplify our reach. Last year, they gave over 50,000 hours. 50,000 hours. That's almost 6 years of time. It was because of our pro bono and volunteers that BetZedek impacted tens of thousands of individuals and families in 2020. We applaud them and thank them. When you get a chance, please take a look at the virtual gala journal where we've acknowledged all of the pro bono volunteers and law firms who have made such a huge difference.
Coming up, we'll catch up with an old friend of BetZedek's, and we'll see where he is now. But first, giving now is more important than ever. Text Justice21 to 41444.
My family immigrated from Poland when I was 6 years old. We came here with nothing and really relied on the goodwill of others to survive in so many different ways. When I started doing the Holocaust reparations work, I realized that I could use my experience as an immigrant and then my language skills as a native Polish speaker to help this incredible constituency tell their stories.
In March 2020, Teresa and I noticed how the pandemic had affected the Chinese American community, and we wanted to help out with that community. We were hearing stories of how the Chinese community have lost their job, were being laid off, were losing income due to the pandemic.
But when the pandemic hit in March, my mother, who works as a hotel housekeeper, was furloughed from a job that she's had for over 10 years. And it was extremely traumatizing to my mother and to my family. There were a lot of questions as to how long the furlough would last, if she would ever get her job back. And my mother's a monolingual, Chinese-speaking immigrant, navigating this process without any knowledge of how the unemployment system worked. I imagine that so many others were just like her in this situation where they had just lost a job at a restaurant They had just lost a job at a hotel. They had just lost a retail job somewhere. I felt that there was a lack of assistance, in terms of legal services to this particular working class community.
One of the main projects that I worked on this summer was basically working against a predatory lending scheme. It was a residential program to install solar panels, and it targeted low-income individuals and individuals who didn't speak English to take out loans that they couldn't afford to pay off.
The most recent program that I was involved with was working with one of the marketing people at Snap to put together a program for small businesses on how they could effectively market and use digital marketing in particular for their businesses, and then legal issues that they need to think about when they're launching these marketing initiatives.
Whether it's elder members of our community who are being targeted by consumer scams, or tenants in our community who are struggling to keep their house, or low-wage workers in our community who are struggling to get paid. You work with individuals who are inspiring and hardworking and incredibly brave.
Very little of what BetZedek did was wasted or for show. Everything ended up really impacting clients immediately. The lawyers at BetZedek and the outside law firms that support them are really in a constant dialogue about different things that we can do to support the community, to improve the programs, and to really make a difference. All of these BetZedek programs really reach people, and every year they get better and better. So it's been amazing.
Due to the pandemic, I lost any income, and I'm a single mother with an infant child. Without any savings, and basically I was not able to pay 100% of the rent. And at those point, landlord contacted me and said, you owe us money, when can you pay? And I explained my situation. They we don't believe you, and they start harassing me in a sense of they took away my parking spot. They also said that with me, my mother was living because she was helping me with an infant, and they she cannot live there. They even called police on me a couple times, and afterwards they filed a lawsuit against me for trying to collect the rent which I owe them. And at those point, BetZedek really helped me because they've been able to assign me to pro bono attorney who responded in a proper way to their attorney, and a case got withdrawn from the court. I really, really appreciate BetZedek and the attorneys who they refer me to for the help, because in my situation I was very stressed out, completely lost, and without their help I don't know where I would be. So I really appreciate that they exist, and they so helpful, so attentive, and so supportive.
When they couldn't legally evict her, Elena's landlord then tried to financially bully her into moving out. But BetZedek and a team of volunteer attorneys from Covington and Burling stood with her, and Elena prevailed. Thanks to that partnership, Elena, her mom, and baby daughter are safely in their home right now. A few minutes ago, I asked you to take your phones out and join us in the Text to Give campaign, as if your phones weren't already in your hand. But maybe you're even watching on your phone right now. Just don't tell Christopher Nolan. Apparently that drives him crazy. So you've got your phone right there. There's tons of people who've already texted. You don't want to be the only person who doesn't text to give, do you? Trust me, that doesn't feel good. So it's very easy. Just text the word Justice21 to 41444, and I'll stop bugging you. We checked the thermometer a few minutes ago, and there's been a significant jump. So we're a little over $53,000. Let's keep it going. If you've already texted in your donation, thank you. We also want to take a moment to thank some more of our evening sponsors for their incredible support this year. You know, as far as philanthropic investments go, you won't find many with a better return than BetZedek. For every dollar you entrust us with, We provide $7 in services to the community. We'd never be reaching the high number of people we do without your support. You might be a foundation that's been with Betzedic since we first opened our doors, or you might be one of the kids who's been donating their birthday haul every year. We're celebrating all of you tonight because it's your generosity that sustains the work we do 365 days a year. Los Angeles owes you so much.
Everybody needs a place to turn. Everybody needs to know that somebody has their back. As somebody who has had a long history with Betzedic Legal Services, I can't imagine a more important investment an individual can make in this community.
Los Angeles is an amazing place to live. It's one of the great cities of the world. It's got an amazing vibrancy and amazing life to it, but it's also one of the poorest counties in California. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people who need support, and there aren't only really a few organizations who are equipped and have the ability to provide that. Betzedic is one of them, and one of the few who do it the best.
When I think about Betzedic and what it means for Los Angeles, I think about leadership, commitment, passion, social justice for individuals who have no one to stand up for them.
There is a lot of power that is invested in the current structures and inertia. And it takes good people to come together and say, we want things to be a bit different.
It's quite rare. It's very difficult for organizations, especially in these times, to be able to maintain their workflow, to be able to maintain and actually broaden the people that they serve. Their capacity to do that is not just about their passion, it's actually about their capabilities.
As a child of immigrants who came to this country as refugees, I resonated a lot with the idea that we need to make sure that all people, regardless of their backgrounds, their ability to pay, their proficiency in English, should have equal access to the justice system.
I have this desire to push myself physically, and I was wondering if I could combine this, pushing physical process along with some kind of fundraiser. Actually, I did the bike ride with my dad, and he picked out a pretty cool location, down the beach, but then like up Topanga, and there are obviously moments on that trail that are just super hilly, and it's hard to even push one pedal forward. But in the back of my head, I was trying to think about the people that I could really give an opportunity to, and these are the opportunity to even just have a lawyer. Me being able to just give them that seemingly regular opportunity, I think that was definitely part of what kept me going.
When we think about individuals who are losing their jobs, who have no health care, who may not have food on their table or a roof over their head, this is the time when Betzedic is needed more than ever. The gap between those that have and those that have not is only getting bigger. I don't think there's any other organization who provides the services with a more heartfelt advocacy, passion, so many ways in which Betzedic steps up to the plate. That's why I'm going to continue to give to Betzedic today.
I'm the gay Muslim son of Pakistani immigrants that's been involved in this organization that was started to help survivors of the Holocaust. And so demographically, one would think, well, these are kind of two different groups of people. But Betzedic has never been, to my mind and in my experience, about any particular group. It's always been about helping everyone. There's this quote that we're all familiar with, which is the arc of history bends towards justice. And I think it's idealistic. I think it's inspirational. I also think it's fictional. There is no natural gravitational pull towards justice. The way that arc is bending is because there are warriors out there that are pushing it. And that is what I view Betzedic as. The extraordinary attorneys, the volunteers, the staff, the pro bono lawyers, they are the ones that are pushing that arc so that long-term we are achieving justice in this country.
Many of you have been attending our gala for years, and you might recall a special young man named Azmin, whom you met at our 2015 dinner. We checked in with him recently, and wait till you see the new trajectory his life has taken. Take a look.
Erickson and Betzedic were there for me when I really needed them.
Azmin came here from Honduras.
His mother had been living in Los Angeles for many years.
Back in Honduras, I was living on it with my great-grandma. I was going to school, but then when I finished 6th grade, I stopped. I couldn't afford it. And that's when my mom, she called me. My mom told me then that if I come here, I was gonna come to school, and because that's what I really wanted to do, go to school.
When he first arrived, his mother told him that he could not go to school, that instead he needed to work to help support the family here. Osman had a very difficult time living with his mother. In fact, at some point, he chose to go live in a homeless shelter rather than live within his mother's home. We were able to assist Osman by having his grandmother become his legal guardian. Getting guardianship and special immigrant juvenile status granted has changed the trajectory of Osman's life.
So since high school, I actually have done a lot. I have a beautiful daughter now. She's about to be 1 year on April 7th. I started a career in welding. I can do whatever I want with welding. You know, welding is everywhere. It's in buildings, houses, everywhere, you know. If it would have not been for BetCedec, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now, you know. I would not have all the opportunities that I have to find jobs, to have a driver's license, just to be in the U.S. I can see my future in a different way. I want to start my own business. I want to do something with my life, and BetCedec gave me that opportunity.
With Osmin, I also recognize he's not just a former client of mine, he's a friend.
I take Erickson as like my guardian angel.
He is a constant reminder for me of not only the import of the work that we do, but just how transformative it can be, right? I mean, ultimately, we're not changing lives, we're changing the trajectory. And with Osmin, he took that and he ran with it. And he's really demonstrated to me what that's worth, what sort of a difference a kid can have if only they have a fair shot at things.
It's not just Osmin's world that went through major changes. The increase in children immigrating to this country and the last administration's punitive policies toward them multiplied the need for legal services. Watch how BetCedec has risen to the challenge.
There was a surge of unaccompanied minors that came across the southern border. I believe it began in the summer of 2014 or 2015. And we had internal discussions about what that meant for us at BetCedec. How could we leverage our skill set and our expertise to really try to help answer this call, to help meet this significant increase in demand?
When this program first started, it was just my amazing paralegal Lydia and myself getting referrals from the Department of Children and Family Services for every single undocumented foster child in LA County. So since that time, we've added another attorney, which has been a huge bonus to these kids.
So now we handle the entirety of a child's case, not just the probate side of things, not just the guardianship, but now we do full removal defense. We also seek for our clients any other forms of immigration relief that they may have. So we're a full stop shop for our undocumented minors at this point.
We need people to do this work because there's so many children who need someone to be their voice, to be the person who gives them a little bit of hope and who fights for them because they've suffered enough.
Staff members like Joanna, Leslie, and Erickson do such impactful work, but they're hardly the only ones. In fact, every member of the BetCedec staff never stops working to improve the lives of their clients. From the impact litigation team who helped push LA County to stop allowing predatory home improvement loans, to the tax team who helped ensure low-income Angelenos received their federal stimulus support. The BetCedec staff are the heart and soul of this organization. The evening wouldn't be complete without celebrating their incredible efforts and dedication. We'd like to introduce a few more of them to you now. Take a look. And thank you also to our fantastic partners at Working Nation who produced this video.
For more than 46 years, BetCedec has lived up to its name. A house of justice and righteousness, a place that serves LA's most vulnerable neighbors, that reaches people in their darkest hour and lifts them up on a path to a better life. Today in Los Angeles, there are people who are housed instead of homeless, who are fed instead of hungry, who are living and thriving among us because of Betzedec. The perseverance, persistence, and passion of each of our nonprofit employees tells the story of what it takes to make an organization like this work. Without you, without your grace and your grit and generosity of spirit, so many would be left without the services they so badly need.
One of the most incredible things about our staff is their resiliency and their ingenuity. We were able to go completely remote in the matter of one weekend without a single interruption in services. And this is really a credit to the staff who were able to think creatively and outside of the box when it comes to continuing to deliver high-quality legal services on behalf of our community members.
My name is Isabel Jurado. I'm a Skadden Fellow here at Betzedec Legal Services. I work in the Preventing and Ending Homelessness team and the Small Business Development Program. We're working with our clients during a global pandemic, social unrest, dealing with so much uncertainty in our personal lives, and to a certain extent, absorbing the uncertainty that our clients feel. Part of what helped me get through it was knowing that I had colleagues that I could rely upon to help me learn, to help me laugh, and helping each other stay accountable to ourselves and our needs, but also to our clients.
My name is Michelle Gonzalez. I'm an outreach paralegal, and I've been very lucky to work for this amazing organization for the past 14 years. My population that we serve are older adults, monolingual Spanish speakers. So we try to cater and adapt to the needs of our clients. So we're doing a lot of phone consultations, utilizing a lot of the technology tools to meet with our clients. There's so many talented individuals here at Betzedec that inspire me.
My name is Archie Roundtree Jr. I'm an Equal Justice Works Fellow in the Elder Justice Program. And I focus on elder abuse, specifically focusing on home ownership protection issues. Even individuals who are not in my own practice area have reached out to take time with me just to talk to me, to make sure to introduce themselves to me, to learn about what my fellowship at Equal Justice Works has me working on, and on top of how their practice areas can even be included with some of the things I'm taking care of. And with each one of those, it's just the cohesion of every individual, making sure that we might be working in different practice areas, but we're one team, and however we can actively and in the best way effectuate change with these clients, that's the goal.
One of the interesting things of Los Angeles is that philanthropy is extraordinarily collaborative. Betzedec plays an extraordinarily important role. It has had a string of phenomenal leaders, very devoted staff who really care about the community and go beyond the call of duty.
We're all well-intentioned. We all want to do the right thing. We want to help those that are in need. I think many of us go into the law with that sentiment in mind. The reality is, how you go about doing that is not always so apparent. It is not always easy to know where your help can be provided and how to provide it in an impactful and an effective way. And I think that's where the folks from Betzedec, the staff there and the work that they do is so critical.
It's not always about necessarily what the end result is. Yes, we're gonna advocate every way possible for the clients. However, that one day where they feel like the world around them isn't taking the time to listen, and you give them that time, I feel like that's the biggest win for each and every client. The pandemic hasn't stopped us, so we just need to keep going and keep going forward.
Good evening, everyone. I had the pleasure of sitting down with California Supreme Court Justice Mariano Florentino Cuellar to discuss the importance of legal aid, the power of pro bono, and social and racial justice for our gala tonight. We both had such a great conversation that we've decided to bring it to you in its entirety later this month. Stay tuned for a special invitation to this upcoming community conversation. In the meantime, I want to share this sentiment with all the Betzedec staff and our incredible volunteers who we are celebrating tonight.
Legal aid is about taking seriously the needs of individuals and trying to make a difference for society by making sure that at least in those situations where it's possible, those needs are met. And it takes determined, talented lawyers who are willing to do that, but it also takes partners who are in other settings, big and small firms, who can lend a hand, who can do their best to make sure that those resources, and especially that expertise and knowledge and insight and brilliance, is there for people who are most vulnerable.
My mom does have dementia, and she lives with us because we take care of her, me and my wife. We asked for IHSS, in-house support services, for protective custody of my mom. They did not give her the protective custody that she really needed it. One time she got out of the house, she got lost. We had called the police, and likely a few blocks away, I found her. So we went in front of the judge. He asked me what measures did I take in order for her not to be in danger. I told him, every night we're taking the knobs out of the stove, we lock the house, we have put alarm in the doors. I mean, a whole bunch of steps. So he goes, "Oh, you done a great job. You don't need this." I asked him, I said, "Your Honor, what happens if I get in a car accident and I die tomorrow? Who's going to take care of my mom?" "I don't know." He says, "I don't know," like that. Basically, the decision came negative. They would not give us a protective custody. I started calling around, and I got the phone number of Miss Kim's cell phone that works in Bet Zedek. And I explained to her what was going on. And she goes, "Well, I might be able to help you. Can you please send me all the court papers?" And they decided that, yes, this is an unfair case, and it's not supposed to be like that. And after a lot of sweat and tears and a lot of paperwork, in the end, get my mom the protective custody. And I'm really thankful. If it wasn't for your organization, this would never happen.
Thanks to Bet Zedek's advocacy before an administrative judge, Chris's mom is now receiving the appropriate level of intensive care she needs in the comfort of her own home.
Your donations help other Bet Zedek clients like me. Please text Justice21 to 41444.
Thanks, Azmin. Last year at the Marriott, you faced the peer pressure of your colleagues all donating after Diego's fiery entreaty. Well, this year, the peer pressure has to be stay at home, just like everything else. So, is that your partner on the couch next to you? Maybe your kids, a roommate, or your dog literally giving you puppy dog eyes, urging you to give? Okay, we know that it's not the peer pressure that inspires you to donate. It's because you care about the community around you, the people you see on the street every day living under the incredible weight of COVID, the risk of homelessness or elder abuse. You give because by giving, you connect with all of those people. As part of the Bet Zedek community, you bring hope to everyone around you. And you can do it right now. You know how. Just text the word justice 21 to 41444. Don't wait, because your phone battery is probably going to die. Do it right now. When we last looked, we were close to closing in on our $70,000, which will unlock another $30,000. So please help us push it over the top. And thanks to all of you who've already sent the text. You're the reason we're able to do this work.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Congressman Adam Schiff. Thank you for inviting me to join you tonight as we honor and celebrate Bet Zedek's efforts to fight for justice and equity so we can truly ensure justice for all. The last year has been unlike any other, a year characterized by hardship and loss, a year of confronting injustice. People have lost their homes, their jobs, their insurance, and most tragically, their loved ones. Precious few have escaped the grief and devastation wrought by this virus. But in the face of this historic tragedy, I've been touched by the stories of resilience from people across the nation. If there's one lesson to be taken from this crisis, it's the need for us to come together, ensure that all communities can survive, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized. Bet Zedek has been long dedicated to that vital mission of ensuring that everyone, no matter their age, wealth, or background, has the ability to live a healthy, safe, and dignified life. Your work has never been more important than it is today. When it became clear that COVID-19 would disproportionately harm seniors and workers, Betzetic did not shy away from the enormity of the emergency. Instead, your staff, attorneys, and volunteers rose to the occasion, helping to ensure justice at a time when it was most sorely needed. And for that, Angelenos and people across California owe you an enormous debt of gratitude. There have been a lot of hard conversations this year. We've had to examine and confront our past and the structural injustice and inequities that plague our society. And we learned that our democracy, often held up as the premier example around the world, is very fragile. And while those of us who work in the nation's capital try to repair the damage brought to our democracy and the rule of law, it's those who are in the streets and the clinics and in the courts who are most critical, fighting to ensure that all Californians receive the benefits they need to survive, literally survive right now, ensuring that everyone, especially those who are unable to pay, receive equal justice under the law, and making sure that those who are often left unseen get the assistance that they deserve. It's going to be a long journey, and it's not going to happen overnight. And that's why the work of Betzetic and all those who champion legal services is so important right now. In a world gripped by grief, it's more important than ever that we take the time to celebrate the heroes who fight day in and day out to not only ensure that we survive the pandemic, but help us emerge stronger than ever. Betzetic has been a beacon of hope for so many, and I want to thank you once again for your valiant efforts and for inviting me to share in this well-deserved celebration. I hope to see you all soon. Until then, stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Schiff, for joining us tonight. We're grateful to have politicians on the front line who care about the fight for justice and who have the courage and the fortitude to speak out on behalf of people who often don't have a voice. And good evening, everyone. My name is David Schindler, and I have the honor of serving as chair of the Betzetic Board. On behalf of the entire board, I want to express our gratitude to all of you for joining us tonight, and more importantly, for being part of the broader Betzetic community. For many of us, our 2020 gala was the last time that we gathered in a room with 1,200 of our closest friends and shared a meal without having to break out a measuring tape to set up chairs outside. I'm sorry that we're not able to gather in person this year, because I miss what the gala has always represented for me. For my entire legal career, and for the more than 20 years that I've served on this board, the Betzetic Gala has always been the single largest gathering of people in the city who care about the issues that form the foundation of the Betzetic mission, providing free legal services to the most vulnerable amongst us. As we all know, the last 4 years saw our government unleash an assault on justice unlike anything we ever thought possible. Layered on top of all that, 2020 brought this pandemic, with so many people suffering tremendous economic hardship and isolation. To say that the last year has been particularly tough for our clients would truly be an understatement. But as the old saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And as you've heard tonight, the Betzetic community definitely got going in 2020. When the government unleashed an assault on individuals fleeing persecution and seeking asylum in the U.S., Betzetic was there. When thousands of seniors needed protection from elaborate COVID scams, Betzetic was there. When Holocaust survivors throughout the country needed someone to fight for their rights and their dignity, Betzetic was there. When garment workers clocking 12-hour days were cheated out of overtime, Betzetic was there. Now, as you heard, the need for pro bono legal assistance was so great that Betzetic served twice the number of individuals and families in 2020 than it had served in 2019. Please think about that last point. Other than Amazon, Netflix, and Grubhub, it is hard to name any other business, let alone a nonprofit legal services entity, that managed to serve twice the number of clients in 2020 as they had served in 2019. all while overcoming the logistical hurdles of working remotely. And make no mistake, BetCedec was able to rise to the occasion in 2020 because of the incredible support that all of you provided. I wish I could say that the outlook for 2021 is somehow rosy. The truth is that the most vulnerable amongst us are still bearing the brunt of this pandemic, still suffering from the weight of countless injustices. And while the change of administration in Washington brings us all hope on many fronts, it will take years to roll back the destructive policies and heal the damage wrought by the last administration. The reality is that 2021 is still looking tough for far too many people. So tonight, as the going continues to be tough for so many of our clients, I want to thank all of you for helping ensure that the tough can keep going, that the amazing BetCedec staff can keep doing in 2021 what they did in 2020, serving unprecedented numbers of individuals, providing them with a voice, providing them with some hope, and with hard work and luck, providing them with justice. On behalf of the entire board, I want to thank each of you for joining us tonight and for supporting the amazing work of BetCedec. And I promise that once it's safe to do so, we will find a way to gather again and to thank you in person.
Thank you, David. Your support and leadership and the incredible support of your colleagues at Latham & Watkins means so much to BetCedec. And thanks to all of you for joining us this evening. It's been an honor to host this event. We celebrate you, we applaud you. We couldn't do this without you. We look forward to seeing you all at next year's gala, fingers crossed, in person. Until then, stay safe and know that BetCedec will continue to fight for those who don't have a voice and will bring justice to all.